All right. G'day, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. G'day, Steelers Nation Australia. G'day, Steelers Nation Worldwide. G'day, Steelers Nation Universe. I just got done doing Behind the Steel Curtain with Matty Peverill, and Matty thought, you know what? Let's do another show. Let's do another 10 minutes about the state of the franchise, talking to Pittsburgh Steelers, and this place we can swear. We're allowed to swear. So hopefully some people come into the live chat. We have 0 right now, which is fantastic. We went from 40. Now we got 0. Let's bring in Matty. G'day, mate. Oh, you're muted. All right. Right now we have 0, Matty, but we'll pick it up, mate. How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. I love how we decided to do this one off the cuff, and then on the last show, I almost said bullshit a few times, and you were like, "You can swear on my show."
You certainly can. So we just got done. Hopefully, people, if they don't see it live, if they come in, it depends. The live stream is so crazy. When I do live streaming, like on G'day Pierre Jefferson, he's a Washington football fan and a Steeler fan as well. So when I go live, you go from 1 to 1,000. But let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the state of the franchise, like we did with Behind the Steel Curtain. What is overly happening with, we'll start with, I asked Itz Ginsberg yesterday, do we fire Coach Tomlin or not?
No.
Let's start with that.
No, it's like I always say, I always give the parallel on the BTSC shows of Arsene Wenger, the former Arsenal coach, who got the Arsenal into the Champions League every year, top 4 finishes. It had been, more years than Tomlin has since Tomlin's won the Super Bowl that Arsene had won the Premier League. They get rid of him. They're now a mid-table team. They don't go into the Champions League. And you use that parallel of the playoffs, right? So for me, you don't fire Tomlin because other teams would be wanting to have him. I think Pierre Jefferson would know that, there was rumors for a while that Washington really wanted Tomlin. I mean, Tomlin wouldn't go there to work for Dan Snyder. It's not that sort of style. And they're lucky to have a coach like Ron Rivera as well. I think he's a terrific coach. So, from that perspective, you don't fire Tomlin. This isn't on Tomlin. I think on our show just there on BehindTheSteelCurtain.com's, show, Touchdown Under, I talked about the need to potentially move Butler back into just being the linebacker coach and get in a defensive coordinator. And if that might be promote Terrell Austin, because there's rumors, that other teams want him, whatever it is. But I think the overall as a defense, I think Keith Butler needs to just focus on the linebacking unit.
Right. So let's, as people start to come in, hopefully shortly if they watch it back, let's find out what's going on with Matty Peverill and what, maybe not why you're a Steelers fan, but where do you feel where the Steelers team's going?
Look, it's just where we're just talking.
You're just like, where do we start?
You take a big breath, right, and think about it, right, for 3 seconds, and it's like, as a fan in your heart, you can see him going after these 4 games. I think I said to you, I'm a man of my words, so I think it's going to be a struggle, KC, but I could see it. Like, I could see Minka and Devin Bush turning it, particularly Devin Bush turning it around. TJ Watt making Mahomes rot. I could see all that stuff, but I think that's going to be a hard one to get up for against what I think will be a difficult encounter against the Titans. But to me, the reason why I didn't think they could beat the Titans early on the season was that I didn't think they could score enough points. And I think that the Titans are a 26 to 30 point team when they really want to be on. they're proven they can score some points against the Chargers and now the Vikings as well. So I can see them beating the Titans, but to me, it comes down to those last 2 games against the Browns and the Ravens. You've got to win those 2. And if you can get one of the other ones, great.
Well, the AFC division right now, and I said just before, I think the Ravens are going to miss the playoffs. Let's just talk about playoffs then. Are we a playoff team right now, or do we need to really fix a lot of things?
Nah, we're not a playoff team right now.
Like, not at all.
But this is the thing, and I think it came up, for us in our last discussion quite late in the piece, but it was a really important point. We didn't play like a playoff team on Thursday night, but we played off a playoff team on Monday night, right? So it's a trick question. You got me up there. You've thrown me a ball into 3 defenders like Muth you had to do at the end of this game.
Yeah, crazy.
But you can't let a team get a 29-point head start. That's not playoff football. You do that in the playoffs, you're gone. And they did that last year in the playoffs. That happened, and we saw what happened there, right? So they got to come out of the gate. That's the biggest thing that I find frustrating about this team. They don't come out of the gates properly. And you and I, Manly fans, we saw that this season from in the 2021 season from the Manly Seagulls, and it just wasn't enough down the stretch. You can't come back in every game.
They did play very well, though. It was a pretty good season. And then also to a lot of the fired Tomlin fans and that kind of stuff with the Manly Seagulls, I thought it was a great season. No matter how it ended, we went top 4. We did very well. For the Steelers, for us to maybe get a great season now, you have to go out and win 3 out of 4. It's a new lease on life. And I just want to say, we've been saying it forever, Matty. I've been doing podcasts all over the shop, right? Is it going to be one player that can turn it around, or is it a culture thing? Is it a coaching thing? There just seems to be missing something, because you brought up in Behind the Saw Curtain, you cannot allow 500 yards on the ground. Like, what is it? What is it about this team that we're so talented, yet we cannot get it out of the gates fast enough?
It's this defensive line. Like, I don't think they invested. I was surprised they didn't get a defensive lineman late in the draft, again, like they have in most years. They went with saying, and I get the approach. You got Davis, you got Bugs, you got Alawalu, you got Wormley there for depth. And you sit there and you think, hey, I'm all right. And then Alawalu gets that injury, and, things just spiral from there. But Bugs hadn't proven enough, and Davis was still only coming on. And I think that has undermined. I said it to you a couple of weeks ago on Touchdown Under. There's a great podcast with Luke Kuechly with the guys from Move the Sticks, Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah. And there's one from in the preseason, which I suggest people could listen to. But I also suggest that there was one from about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he talked about the fact that for a linebacker, you need to be able to trust in your deep safeties, your corners on the edge, particularly, and your slot corner particularly, and the defensive line. And that gives you the parameters to play in that short to medium part of the field and do different things and make plays and call the right schemes. He said, but as soon as you lose the integrity of the defensive line up front, that makes you second guess. You're worried about doing too much. So you come down, you create a hole over the short passing game. Now, when I look at the Steelers, right, you got Devin Bush, who's a bit slower now off his ACL injury. He's a little bit unsure about it. You lose Joe Hayden, who would drop in and make plays, from that intermediate passing game into the short intermediate. And then you lose a guy like Mike Hilton in the offseason. And then to make matters worse, Alawalu's out, and Bugs is out now too, and wasn't playing that well. You've got Tuitt out too, so you can't even move Hayward in the nose more. You get to struggle, and there was the rumor there that they were going after Fletcher Cox, and the Eagles wanted to trade him because of his $16 million contract. If we'd got Fletcher Cox, we would have won 3 or 4 more games already. Easy. And he wasn't having that great a season, but he's having a much better season now. So for me, to turn it around with this run game, unless they get to it back, which it's probably not going to happen now this season, unless they can find a way to schematically beat teams. I mean, I even wonder, I held back from it saying it this season so far, but I even wonder whether we need to move to a 4-3, to be honest.
Well, that'd be interesting. Now, with everything you said with all these players, right, have we hit our ceiling? Are we the best we can be, or can we figure something out and be better?
No, not when you look at those fourth quarters against the Chargers and the Vikings, right? And then you look at what we did against the Ravens. You and I talked about this all season, and that's probably where the question comes from, in that you don't feel like you have seen the best version of the 2021 Pittsburgh Steelers, because they've not played 4 quarters through a game. They've played like 2 quarters through a game, max 3, whether they're starting late or
exactly,
finishing early.
Exactly.
And so it's just kind of like the person that rocks up halfway, through the day and expects to, get all the work done and says got to go in with a bunch of homework, or the person that leaves early and then expects to come in and do well the next day in the test. It doesn't happen. You got to complete it all. I
know you have to leave soon, but that's shit. You feel free. You can swear if you like. This is my podcast. This is the Steel Nation Australia.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, to be honest.
Oh, I gave you an out there. No, it's interesting, mate. Like,
there you go. It's fucking shit.
Yes. There's no rains here. There's no rains on.
It pisses me off. It pisses me off. Like,
go off, mate. Go off.
I know the salary cap got put down. I know it got put down to 182 million, but it doesn't mean you can play any less. You got a Pittsburgh Steeler with the jersey on.
All right, I need to ask you, maybe, how many more questions do you got? How much time do you have?
2. I have 2 questions.
All right, let's go. What are your? I need to get you really fired up. What are your thoughts on Devin Bush?
Overall, I think I'm a Devin Bush fan. I believe he can come back, but mate, you got to make a tackle. He's just got to make a tackle. He's just got to get in there. It's not. I don't think he's helped. I don't think they scheme him right. That's what frustrates me. The person that I think lets him down is when Pierre's in Hayden's role. Now, that gets me fired up. Not a fan of Pierre. He's slow. I think you've seen them now bringing in Keller Witherspoon as a result. Mm-hmm. I think that's been a massive cost to him. I don't think he and Shobert gel. I wonder whether Shobert doesn't have much respect for him or something like that. But, for me, it's not Devin Bush that's he has the issue of his responding to the ACL, but I don't think we give up on Devin Bush.
Exactly. And I'm trying to think of more fiery questions, but I can't. But let's go with one more. Let's go with can Najee turn this around by himself?
Nah. Look at the bloke. It was a 3-yard run that he had. Even the commentator said this must be the best 3-yard run I've ever seen. Right? Najee is has to beat a million blokes. Najee's just this. Hulking. You know what it's like? I've never read them and I've never watched the different adaptations. Gulliver's Travels, that scene where there's the big giant and he's got ropes all over hanging on the ground.
Right.
Right? He's bloody the Gulliver in the Travel or whatever it is, and hanging down and taped up and stuff. He's got to carry the whole team on his back every friggin' inch per yard. No, Najee needs the help that Najee can't turn around. Najee needs the 5 big boppers in front of him to knock some blokes over and get to the second level. One more question.
All right. Let's go with the culture. Who needs to be, who needs to really shake someone by the shoulder pads? Who needs to be shaken by the shoulder pads, and who needs to do the shaking to wake someone up?
Question. Well, Chase, obviously, after this game, probably needs a good shaking. Mm-hmm. But all right, this is going to be controversial, but if Big Ben doesn't think it's his responsibility to captain this offense as the quarterback and as the leader and the veteran leader of this team, he needs to be shaken by the shoulder pads.
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
And those interceptions that I know you hate that he throws in the end zone, he still threw one of them.
He does. He tends to throw them in the 20-yard line. He throws them a check to the receiver, and they work 50% of the time. It gets, they say, DJ wasn't in the spot. Well, just throw a better route than that route at the same time. It's the exact same route we've been seeing for the last 2 years. I agree with you. I think Ben does need to be, shaken, but it's the ego.
I've got another person that needs to be shaken too.
Yeah, tell me.
Cameron Sutton. So Cameron Sutton has played really well in some games, like the Bills game. And then there's other games he goes completely missing. He got burned by Osborne on that touchdown, number 17 from the Vikings. He was obviously not in the right position because Cam Sutton's pretty fast, right? And he kind of got back there in the end. but he like fell over for dead. Like he wasn't going to catch him at all. He was better to try to keep running with him and see if he could catch him down. But he like did that dive and bloody face planted in the dirt. And yeah, to me, he needs to be shaken up because they kept him over Hilton. And I think Hilton wanted more money, to be fair. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
Going in and throwing his body around. But they kept him there. They're building in many ways, they're kind of building, and it might scare some people, a cornerback unit around him is the veteran guy in there. And I told you in Touchdown Under about how there's a big philosophy at the moment of having really fast guys at corner and having, one veteran there and then having really good safeties. And so, when I look at Sutton, he needs to be shaken by the shoulder pads and say, mate, you've been given an opportunity, step up. And to step up, I mean, you can't just step up in 1 or 2 games every couple of games. You have to step up game in, game out.
I've got one for you, Matty. One more for you, then we end it. If you're going into if you're a player, right, and you got TJ Watt's in the huddle and he's doing let's ride, but it's time that you got to push TJ Watt out of the way and say, mate, look, mate, I'm taking over this team. What do you say to the huddle for this team to get better and to wake up?
If I'll say like putting TJ Watt aside,
yeah. If you just say TJ Watt, mate, you sit down. I've got this, mate. I've got this. What do you say to the huddle?
I say, look at yourself. Like, look down, look at yourself, look at that number on your jersey. And as you do, you look at your logo on one side, right? And you look at, there's no, Rooney patch, but you can imagine the Dan Rooney patch on the other side. You think about 6 Super Bowls, right? And you think, am I playing to 6 Super Bowl standard? Am I playing to the Dan Rooney standard? Am I playing to the Steelers past and present standard? And by present, I mean the guys like your Haywoods, your TJ Watts, your Minka Fitzpatricks, right? Your Najees and your Freermuths. And you go, am I? And if there's any hesitation, right, and there should be for a lot of these players, stick your head up, pull your shoulders back, and you get to work and you grind. And, my granddad used to have a saying that if you came off the field in the position that I played, a bit more in the trenches, right? So anyone in the offensive, defensive line, linebackers, tight ends, running back, if you came off the field at the end of the game and your jersey wasn't fully dirty, then you didn't play hard enough, right? Now, I know that's hard on AstroTurf, right, to do. But you should be seeing smudges with all the different paint from the field, and you should be seeing on the turf all over it. And I see too many clean jerseys at the end of Steelers games.
Yeah, it should have been purple. The jersey should have been purple. Okay, final thoughts, Matty. What are your final thoughts, and we'll end it?
Final thoughts are Steelers can still do it, but it's a tough grind, and it's on them, And if they can get to the playoffs, don't lose faith in this team. I don't think they're one and done. I said this before the season in all the different shows we did. I said that the Steelers needed to go in and learn how to go through adversity. There's no more adversity than having to go down the stretch and win. And even if they lose against the Titans, imagine they do go on the run and they do beat KC and they do beat Cleveland and then they do beat the Ravens. They're battle hardened. They're ready. And I think there'd probably be a bit of a psychological boost that you would get for those young guys like your Freemuths, your Harrises, your Dan Moore Juniors, and your Greens. So, be positive about this Steelers season because we can still come back. And if not, we've had a rebuild. We started a rebuild and the team hasn't dropped 10 games.
Yeah, exactly. It's not over till it's over, Red Rover. Thanks, Matty, from Behind the Steel Curtain for coming on the Steel Nation Trail. We're definitely doing this again with more preparedness. Next time we'll put the video out so people get more notifications. Thanks for Angel and Pierre coming in. We'll get some more people following, but that was funny. I might even call it where I do a fast five with Matty. And I just want to piss you off. I want to piss you off so much, so get you angry and loud and just. I love.
You want me to go in? You want to block me?
Oh, I didn't block you. All right, on the way out. Wait a minute. All right, okay. Goodbye, Steel Nation Australia. Thanks, Matty, for coming on. Hang on for 2 minutes, Matty, after, and then I'm going to block you and let's go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, you're blocked. I'm blocked. We're all blocked. See you guys later.